Yes, people, as you guys already know, we are sponsored by Super 6. I'm absolutely buzzing about this because I play Super 6 every single week. So this is kind of like the perfect thing for us. And if you don't know what Super 6 is, it's that thing you see Jeff Stelling talking about on Soccer Saturday every week. And you guys simply need to enter 6 predictions for 6 games, enter the scorelines. And if you get 6 scorelines correct, you could win £250,000. And guess what else? It's absolutely free to enter. It's incredible. I love Super 6. We're going to be getting involved every single week on the club as well. So before we get to the Super 6 fixtures for this week, we're going to preview some of the weekend's games. Boovie, which is up first?
We're starting off with the big one, Man City versus Liverpool. And I'm nervous, as much as this is not the same Liverpool side that we've seen in previous years. Of course, Liverpool can always take points off of us. And the way it's going in the Premier League title race, we can't not win every single game.
Rory, if City don't win this, is the title race over?
Yeah, I mean, it won't be because there's always hope, and until it's mathematically over, people will constantly fight for it. But I think that if Manchester City don't take the full 3 points here, I think that it's pretty much over because Arsenal, can you imagine the lift to everybody involved at Arsenal Football Club if for some reason Liverpool nick a draw or they could nick 3 points? You've got to remember that as average as Liverpool have looked this season, they've already beaten City. When it really mattered, the big games where they really want to perform, they've beaten Manchester United in a historic way. They've taken points off City already. So there is, I think if you're an Arsenal fan, you'd be looking at this fixture thinking, this could be the one. You know, like they'll be looking, I think there'll be some optimism, but I expect City to win. Overall, I know that you're slightly nervous and there's an element of trepidation to the way that you're feeling about the fixture, but ultimately you think you win, right?
Especially at home, especially with controlling the ball without the kind of Anfield atmosphere that stops us winning there for a good 20 years in the league. I think the big thing for me is Liverpool, if they're out of the top 4 race, they've dropped more points. It's tough.
This is the thing though, Boovie. Obviously, Liverpool still fighting for that top 4, still trying to get it. They're coming to City looking to get 3 points, but at the same time, the City side, we never know what side's going to turn up. They can beat Man United 7-0, they can lose against Bournemouth.
Surely that's not the case now, though. Surely at this stage of the season, they're starting to find a bit of rhythm. They're starting to put some wins together. They're starting to look.
Lost against Bournemouth, Rory. Recent.
Yeah.
The Liverpool side. Sorry, I thought you meant the City side. Sorry.
Yeah.
No. The Liverpool team are completely unpredictable. But their unpredictability is almost a positive going into this fixture.
Yeah, because City might underestimate them.
City might underestimate them. Also, if Liverpool do turn up, they can win the game. We know that. Yeah. We've seen what they can do. And the fact that we don't know what Liverpool will turn up means that there is an opportunity. Because if it goes with form, if it goes with your general form over the course of the season, Man City win 3-0. But it won't do that. And, you know, Darwin Núñez, Cody Gakpo, Mohamed Salah, if they find a bit of rhythm like they did against Manchester United, they are capable of
especially on City. The break. And I know United kind of played into their hands in the second half, but you'd assume Man City would have most of the possession. Yep. You'd assume they'd be playing in Liverpool's half most of the game. And if that's the case, Darwin Núñez, Gakpo and Salah on the break could cause all kinds of problems for City.
The big factor is that Erling Haaland, he scored 8 goals in a single week. He's at the kind of level now where City are finding him the ball in dangerous areas consistently. If there's one part of the season you want someone to be scoring 8 goals in a single week, it's at the business end of the season.
He's not yet done it.
He scored a hat-trick against Liverpool.
Has he yet?
Do you know what I mean? It's crazy to say that. He could score a hat-trick against Liverpool and no one would blink an eyelid. I think I'd back Erling Haaland to get a couple of goals. It'd be a boring game. And that's how I think we're going to win the Premier League. I think the conversion of chances to goals is so much easier now that Erling Haaland's even in better form than he was at the start of the season. I don't think he's even found that top level of form yet. I think he could get even better.
I don't think City have, which is incredible.
Scary.
But that's the thing that makes me think Arsenal are going to win the league.
Although City is starting to find it now. I still think Arsenal.
But every time we think that, they have a. It's like every time when we think, City are going draw against Forest.
Not this time.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, not this time. I feel like this is it though. If they don't get it right this time, I think it's over. What about the race for the top 4? Obviously, that's heating up as well.
Oh, it's annoying, man, because United could potentially lose against Newcastle, and they could be level on points with us. And people would almost look at it then as if we're getting dragged back into the top 4 race, which we probably are if we lose against Newcastle. Which shows you that draw against Southampton, the defeat against Liverpool hasn't helped at all. But at the same time, with the fixtures that we've got after that game, I'm confident we'll still get top 4. And
yeah, I don't think there's any jeopardy around Manchester United getting top 4. I think there might be a conversation that we could have about them getting top 3. I think there is a chance. Look, I imagine.
Don't think it matters either.
No, it doesn't. It certainly doesn't matter. It certainly doesn't matter. But there's a world in which Manchester United could end up finishing outside the top 3, but there isn't a world where they could end up finishing outside the top 4. The interesting thing here, though, if Manchester United win, then they're secured for top 4, which I think is pretty much the case anyway, but it is secured if they beat Newcastle. What sort of impact will it have on Newcastle?
I think Newcastle have shown this season that they're very steady. They don't let a defeat rock them too much, and they don't let a victory kind of, get them too far ahead of themselves. If you look at their reaction to the cup final, I thought after that cup final, they were dropping points here and there, that their season was kind of just fizzle away and they'd finish 7th, 8th.
That could still happen.
It could still happen, but they've shown a reaction to that. And they've got a game a week, which again, we speak about how much that's going to help Arsenal. It's going to help them as well. They've got a small squad. The one thing for me is, though, Eddie Howe seems to favour Wilson over Isaac. And I just feel Isaac's the one who's got the goals in.
Really
I think that'll change eventually. That'll change eventually.
Callum Wilson's never been a prolific goal scorer. He's just been always injured, and then he'll score a few goals.
He's a 1 in 2 Premier League.
Although he's not a 1 in 2, bro.
He's about a 1 in 2.
He's not. That's the thing, you'll be surprised.
It's really dried up for him, though.
Really,
Post-World Cup, it's really dried up for him, the goals. But ultimately, the question that we need to come to a conclusion here, do Newcastle finish in the top 4?
Newcastle's biggest chance are the sides around them. I think if Liverpool, who have got the ability to lose to Bournemouth of all sides after beating Man United 7-0, if Spurs have this weird Ryan Mason 2.0 kind of moment again and he leads them for the remainder of the season, if that happens, those two implosions could happen with Liverpool and Tottenham, where Newcastle they grind it out.
Okay, I've got a curveball for you. I was actually looking at the Premier League table earlier today, right? Curveball. Brighton, Hove Albion.
Yeah. They're probably out of the 4. Brighton, Newcastle.
It's possible,
It is possible mathematically, and out of the 4, they're playing the best football by country mile.
And you know what's good? Some people may say bad, but I think they've got a good chance of beating us. They play United and the teams around them as their games in hand. That's huge. If they beat United, which they could do, we're going to have Europa League games piling up and this, that.
Yeah.
Mate, they're in for a proper shout then. Yeah. Then we are truly...
It's getting to the stage,
if we lose against Newcastle and Brighton...
with Brighton, it's getting to the stage where I feel like they've been sort of dismissed for such a long time. By me, by the way. I've never really given them the consideration of finishing in the top 4. I still don't really. But it's getting to the stage now where they've got the games in hand. There's 10 games to go between now and the end of the season. And they're still there. At some point, we have to start factoring them in. At some point, we have to start giving them the respect.
You know how in the past Europa League football or European football has almost ruined the likes of West Ham, Burnley. It's ruined their league campaigns. I get a feeling with Brighton that they'd be the opposite.
Yeah,
they'd use that to attract better players, and as a result, they'd have a better squad. And because their recruitment's amazing.
Yeah.
And if you combine their recruitment with European football,
think of
they could take another
the money that European football would bring, and also the allure that it would bring. The players that they're signing at the moment, they're doing it without too much of a carrot to offer. Whereas you start offering European football, it will change the entire perception of the club. It's true. So just to get your final vote, top 4, do Newcastle get it?
No.
Top 4, Adam, do Newcastle get it?
No. I think Liverpool. Right, lads, have you seen this league we've got going for Super 6? You can join it. You got to use capital Club S6 to join our Super 6 league. And there'll be fun things going on every week. We'll be challenging, we're giving away prizes and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, man, I'm confident I'm going to be topping it a lot.
And if you do come top, you get 100 quid at classicfootballshirts.co.uk. It's unbelievable. But from my understanding of your football knowledge, I think you'll come top half. You'll be lucky to come top half for me. But when I win it, I'm going to get a classic Sean Goethe shirt from Classic Football Shirts when I come top of the mini league. But yeah, it's a beautiful thing. I lovely competing with you lads.
Do we get it?
If we're top of the league.
But if in our own mini league.
Well, if we're top of the league.
No, but what about just out of us 3? I think that the league can be anybody watching this.
The league can be anybody.
But what about us? Whoever finishes top out of us 3, I think should get some sort of an award.
We should do like a forfeit or something. Yeah. Not an award.
Just an award. I would rather an award than a forfeit. Because I'm going to win it.
A little trophy.
I don't want a trophy. I want something with monetary value.
I think we do a prize.
I want a classic.
We do a prize for us 3 at the end of the season. Who's top?
Okay,
we can't do that mid-season every week. But every week, if you're top of the league, you will be getting a £100 Classic Football Shirts voucher.
Oh, it's
if you're top of the league weekly. Obviously, at the end of the season, there'll be different things going down. But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to this. I've already got my predictions in for this weekend as well. I'm ready to go. The fixtures this weekend for the Super 6, the predictions that you have to give us for are Arsenal versus Leeds. That's a huge one.
Massive. Brighton versus Brentford.
Yep. Palace Leicester.
Chelsea versus Aston Villa. That's a huge one.
West Ham versus Southampton, I've got that one nailed. That's the one that's going to trip up a lot of people apart from me.
And Newcastle versus Man United, which I think, again, it's going to be a tight game. It could be a 0-0, 1-0 either way. I think that could be one that separates everybody.
Do you know what he's doing? I've seen his predictions. He's got 4-0. He's trying to throw you off the scent. He's
to Newcastle.
It's going to be a tight one, that one. It's going to be a tight one.
Stop Adam doing anything well in the Super 6 League, because every week it's going to be 4-0 to Man United, and they're going to get banged out like they did 7-0 a few weeks ago. Do you remember that, Ad? 7-0 to Liverpool. Do you remember that one, mate?
I don't remember that. Do you reckon anyone predicted that on Super 6? Talking about that, though, how do you get your Super 6 predictions in? You can download the Super 6 app, or you can head over to the website, and the link is in the description below. It's so easy. All you do is you go over there, predict the 6 scores for those 6 games that I've just said with Boovie and Rory. Once you've predicted those games, and it's not just win, lose, or draw, you have to do the scoreline. You will then be in the hat. What you do as well to separate you from anybody else, because potentially Rory could copy my predictions once he sees them. You do a golden goal as well. So you pick a minute for the golden goal. And when the first goal is scored, that will be the golden goal. So if you get that right, it will help separate you from the rest if you do finish at the top. And it's a free shot of £250,000. Free shot, Rory.
Hang on a minute. I don't remember. I've done my predictions, but I haven't picked a minute.
You should have picked a minute. If not, it's going to be 1. So unless someone scores in the first minute...
That's great. That's what I would have gone for.
Yeah, you would have gone first minute.
That's a good shout.
So see, this is what you're up against. You could win a classic football shirt voucher every week up against this clown. So if you want to get involved, the link is in the description below. Make sure you read all the T's and C's, but it's free to enter. Club S6, all capitals, to enter our league. And come up against these 2 mugs and me, who will be top of the table if you're looking for me.